Alright, I just called the temp agency, and unfortunately, not only do they require birth certificate or social security card, they also require proof of address. Dang, this guy's not stopping me, he's just rolling by, but always a little nerve-wracking. Anyway, as I was saying, I need proof of address to work at this temp agency that I was looking at, so it's kind of looking like that might not be realistic. The other option I have is InstaWork, which Eric showed me, and he said they don't require a birth certificate or anything, so I assume they don't require proof of address either. So I'll probably try that, and maybe I'll just look on like Craigslist. Problem is I don't have transportation. But if I can just find some temporary work, then I can get an address, and then I can get the more permanent work. Alright, well, I haven't been walking much lately, so I kind of underestimated how much distance I could actually make. I still have to get used to the way the weight falls on my new pack. So I got real tired. I didn't really make it that far, but I just kind of shed my backpack and walked up to a restaurant. Like I said, the main reason I wanted to come to Houston as opposed to any other cities is that there's a lot of Vietnamese people here. So I just went up to a Vietnamese restaurant. Unfortunately, the servers were not Vietnamese, they were just some locals. But that's kind of what I want to do here. Just gonna get a lot of trekking through the bushes and stuff. One thing I really like about Houston, and really like the whole East Coast, is that there's a lot of woods around that you can get into. Maybe I don't want to go this way. I do have to be careful of like snakes and stuff. But yeah, I put my my pack in the woods over there, and I just walked up to this Vietnamese restaurant. It's pretty good. I like pho. It's costs about as much as your typical fast food meal, but it's way more like filling, and you feel good after you eat it. You don't just feel like, oh, why did I just eat that McDonald's hamburger? You know, it's way better for you than any of that stuff. And now that I'm back in this type of territory, I can look for mushrooms more. I know most of my viewers weren't watching back when I was in like the Gulf Coast and the East Coast type of area, but back then I was way into mushroom hunting. I was starting to learn how to identify common types of mushrooms and stuff like that, and then I hit the West Coast. I basically hit Texas and stopped seeing mushrooms altogether. Even when I was up in the Pacific Northwest, which should have a lot of mushrooms, I just wasn't seeing that many. So kind of happy for multiple reasons to be back in this area. Hopefully I can figure out a way to make some money and stay here for a while. And then, I'd love to save up enough to get like a car or a van, or at least a motorcycle, and start traveling the country that way. I'd also love to save up enough to actually go to Vietnam, because, I'm building up all these Vietnamese skills, and I'd like to be able to use them in the home country. I'm not nearly good enough yet, but I've been sort of just rehearsing different conversations I could have, and I think I actually know enough to hold a basic conversation, which is nice. So yeah, I think I'll just like camp out here tonight. I don't feel like walking anymore today. In the morning I'll go up to the bus stop I was looking at, try and get into town. It's not going to rain tonight, actually. It's going to rain tomorrow night, I should say. So I don't have to worry about that right now, so I'll just set up in these woods and wait it out until tomorrow. Here's my stuff right there. Yeah, it's been a while since I've been in some woods. I do really like the desert, but there's lots of stuff to like about the woods too. It's always fun to just kind of go walking and see what you can find. See? I didn't even have to go that far and I found one. It's not even really mushroom season right now, but you can usually find them around the roots of dead trees. It's not like it's cold out lately. I mean, a little cold at night maybe, but not too bad. Not sure what all this is. It's probably fungus. It actually looks like, especially if you look like down here. Oh yeah, it's definitely fungus. Probably don't really want to be like, you know, getting real close to that stuff, but I see some sort of shelf fungus growing right there. I know there's one that was like, I forget what the name of it was. It sounded like schizo something. It was a very common mushroom to find. It kind of looks like that stuff down there, but not like, doesn't look like this, I don't think, unless it's just an early stage of it. And there's some of these guys. Not exactly sure what this is, but the ones over here kind of look like turkey tail. I don't think it is actually, because turkey tails have a different color to them, but that's one of the ones I actually know how to identify. If you look really closely, you can find all kinds of other mushrooms around here too. No idea what that is, but there's a bunch of these over here. These might grow into some sort of full-sized, might even be like chicken of the woods or something like that, but I don't really know. I don't know how to identify that one, and these are so small it'd be hard to identify them one way or the other. That one's kind of interesting. Very small. It's got a weird shape to it. Look at all those mushrooms. So, like a week ago or so, I bought some sleeping pills. Nothing crazy, it's basically just the generic equivalent of like Z-Quil, which I've always found knocks me right out. But the problem is, it also makes me really drowsy and like cloudy headed the next day. Well, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Probably, I don't know, depends on what I ate the day before or something, but yeah, so I took them last night and then I slept like 11 hours. Now I'm not really sure I want to try and get all the way to the bus stop today. Everything just kind of feels really bad. It's also really freaking muggy out here. Alright, I just found some woods to take a look in, and there is evidence that people have been here, but this does not look active. Yeah, there's a big dump right over this way. It was definitely very active at some point in time, but right now I don't really see any evidence that there's somebody here, so this probably looks like where I'm going to be tonight. Alright, well, so the rain started a lot later than I thought it was going to. Basically it was fine for the whole night, but I think I fucking gave myself like carbon dioxide poisoning or something, because like I woke up with this massive headache and just felt like shit basically all night. I don't think I slept that well, but the rain did start and it got pretty heavy, but I got into the Starbucks on time. It's only like 10:30 or 11 right now. It's still relatively early, but I've moved to under the bridge here because I'm going to do a little bit of exercise or something. Just want to keep my body moving. Yeah, I don't know if it's actually going to rain all day like I thought it would. It looks like it might be kind of on and off for the rest of the day. The worst of it's past. But I did leave my tent out in the woods, and I don't think flooding will be a big issue, but it might be a little bit of an issue. I think it should be fine. I think I handle it relatively well. You'd think for as much as I've dealt with the rain, I would be a little bit more confident in how I handle it. But if anything, I've just become more and more paranoid over time. And Houston gets a lot of rain, so this is going to be something I'm dealing with until I can get housed up, basically. Alright, rain's pretty light right now, so I figure now's a good time. Let's see what we're working with. Hopefully everything's still standing. There's been a little bit of high winds, nothing crazy, I think. And it shouldn't really reach in here anyway, but you never know. And floor doesn't seem that flooded, actually. Push through. Okay, tarp's still up. That's good. That's the first step. Okay, is it all dry? Looks good. I don't see any real wet spots. Everything under the tarp feels dry to me. Alright, well, I think that's going to be a good sample of what the weather's going to be like around here. Big storms that pass by very quickly, and then the sun's out the next day. That is my experience with Houston previously as well. There was like a time when I was working at like a wind farm. It was actually like a company that does blade inspections for the wind turbines, and they're based in Houston. And when I was here for the training, there's a very similar sort of thing where there was just this flash storm that was like really loud and really heavy, and then it passed in like an hour. So I made my way into West Houston, where I'd been scouting out some things on Google Maps. I'm feeling a little antisocial today, so I decided to come over to this park to just kind of chill. Unfortunately, it's pretty windy. But I find this park really odd, because it's essentially just one big glorified drainage basin. And you literally have these drainage pipes, culverts, coming from the bayous down into this field, which is like set up to be like a soccer field, but it's full of water. And it's not like it, you know, there's going to be very few days out of the year when this is not at least partially flooded. So I just thought that was kind of strange. So I got my eyes on this little green area back here. And the more I look at it, the more I think like there's got to be other people in there. It's just too perfect. You can't see behind this car, but it kind of backs up onto this fence. And on the other side there's some like RV park or something. It just looks a little too perfect to have to myself. And even if I can't get all the way back in those woods, I can probably get set up like just somewhere right by the road here. I'm gonna see what happens, see if I can get all the way back there, see if there's anyone else back there, but it seems like it might be a good idea. Yeah, see what happens over here. I see a worn path, so I think it is as I suspected, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I feel wrong being in here, but I don't see anybody. I don't really see any tents even. There's a whole wall of shopping carts. Somebody's made this thing into an arch. Tons of stuff back here, but I don't see any people. But it definitely feels like there should be people back here. I'm back a little bit further. How incredibly bizarre. Like, I guess nobody lives here. Maybe? How old does some of this stuff look? Obviously this used to be covered, probably. Like, what about this? This looks like it could be somebody's thing that they're using. Sort of a thing. Kind of cool. That, like, skeleton back there. Miracle Maker was here. There you go. Can I get around to get a better look at that? Get out of my house. I'll be back. Don't stay inside. Get out. Okay. I wasn't planning on it, but it's good to know for sure. So I guess what that tells me is that somebody does live here, but they move when it's like flooded or whatever. Maybe when there's a lot of rain, or maybe they just, like, I don't know, maybe they just come and go. Who knows, really? Well, I avoided cigarettes for like 24 hours, and honestly probably could have avoided them longer. But I don't know. I guess I kind of need to see some tangible downsides before I'm really gonna quit for good, which is a dangerous thing, but that's how my brain works. There's a wide variety of interesting little businesses around here. This is like a very multicultural part of town. So you get all kinds of Chinese, and obviously the big Vietnamese town is nearby. Not that close to right here, but you know, nearby. There's just a lot of like African stuff around, you know, Indian, and just pretty much fucking everything. Any ethnicity that you can think of, there's probably some sort of representation around here, which is pretty cool. So it's been like 3 days since I got into town. It's really fucking loud by these highways. I'm actually lucky that there's an actual sidewalk here. Most places there just isn't. You're just walking on grass, walking in ditches. Houston's really fucking annoying to walk around. Look at these roads, man. It's like 4 lanes. This isn't like a highway or anything. It's like a pretty major road, but it's like 4 lanes each way. 8-lane road, just going right through the fucking middle of all this, you know, commercial stuff. You know, makes you wonder why I chose to come to Houston in the first place.
Wait, traveling east.
But I do like how multicultural it is and stuff. That's pretty fun. It was supposed to rain today, and I kind of spent most of yesterday stressing about it, and then today comes and it was like a little thin strip of rain on the radar that actually didn't even hit us. So basically didn't rain at all, and I'm just stressing for no reason whatsoever. So I gotta get some stuff done. I'm like super running out of money, So what I'm going to do for the rest of the day, I think, is try to play some music, see if I can get donations that way. And then tomorrow I am going to, I need to make money, like, somehow. So I've got InstaWork on my phone, but I need to, like, do a bunch of shit. It wants me to, like, fill out forms and do quizzes, and like, and then it's asking me to, like, have restaurant black attire, which I definitely do not have. So yeah, that sort of thing. And then I need to be checking Craigslist, and then I need to be, like, I don't know, so much shit to do, and I don't really know what to do first or what's most important. I've kind of figured out, like, where the spots are to sleep around here, so that's good. I kind of know that, but also I'm not sure I want to be in this exact area the whole time. But yeah, money's really the key right now, I think. So I got to figure that out first. That's got to be my top priority. All right, played for like a couple hours maybe, and made $31, which is not terrible. I'm pretty happy with that. So that gives me enough money to get some more groceries. Feel not too bad about myself for a little bit. I do feel like I should be able to do this for longer, you know. My endurance is just really shitty. But it's kind of just, you know, I've also been sitting on my ass a lot lately. I haven't played the instrument in like 3 days, so, you know, and also I got like other stuff to do, so I can't be out here playing all the time. But I probably should do, like, I don't know, maybe like an hour every morning or something like that, or every afternoon maybe. I don't really know what would be better, but I should probably do something like that just to keep my skills sharp. All right, well, I did sleep in these woods for like 3 nights, and there really wasn't anybody here. I didn't see anybody here except for one time there was somebody on the far end towards the street sitting there with like a cart of lumber, like they were gonna build something, but I never saw them again, so I don't really know. And there's definitely nobody back this far, so that was kind of nice. But I mean, there's obviously like lots of stuff in there, and I wouldn't be surprised if people do come back from time to time, so I don't really want to be there long term. Today I've packed up all my stuff. I want to get down towards the actual Little Saigon and look around that area, try and see some of the stuff that I was looking at on the map. See if there's anywhere to sleep around there. Go say hi to some shopkeepers, hopefully. Alright, here I am in Little Saigon. There's a lot of stuff around that I will be going and checking out later. I think I'll probably block off a whole day for that, like tomorrow though, probably. Right now, I just want to make sure that I have a place to sleep tonight. For right now, I have spotted a couple places on Street View, or on, you know, Google Maps, that look like they could be places where I could sleep. And then there's also like a couple big grocery stores to the south of here. It's kind of like on the same path, so I'm gonna go check some things out. I'm gonna go to the grocery store. I'm gonna go busk. Hopefully I can make some money, get some good food. I really feel like I've been eating like shit lately because I'm trying to save so much money. I should really just be making money so I don't have to save as much. Yeah, that's the plan for today. Alright, well, I played a decent amount at this AGV here, but unfortunately, 2 things, I think. First of all, this road right here is way too loud, so nobody can hear me from here. Second of all, The actual HEB doesn't have any room out front for me to sit at, so I don't really have a choice. And then also the third thing is there's a lot of homeless around here. I think, yeah, that area back there behind the HEB is definitely got like 4 or 5 different tents that I can see. So that's definitely where kind of the local home bums set up, and that's probably where I'll sleep tonight. But if I want to make any money around here, I think I gotta find somewhere else to busk. It ain't happening right here. One thing that I'd really been wanting to try in Vietnamese town was some Vietnamese coffee. So I found a coffee place and I tried it out. Alright, that was long coffee. Tasted pretty good. A good cup of coffee. I'm not sure how like traditional that place is, because a lot of the menu is in, you know, just regular English, and the stuff that was in Vietnamese wasn't in like the actual Vietnamese script. They had like one diacritic on top of the E, which is funny. And that word sua, I'm pretty sure that's actually supposed to be sua, which is milk. But it had none of the diacritics, none of the special letters. So it was very dumbed down for the Americans, I think. But it did have sweetened condensed milk in it, which you don't usually get in America. So, you know, that's fine. I should also say that all the people behind the counter were Vietnamese, and all the people inside were Vietnamese. So I'm not necessarily doubting that it is like a popular spot around here, and they may very well do it the Vietnamese way. I just don't know. Oh, look. Phở Bún Chả Hanoi. So Bún Chả is, I was talking to somebody on Hello Talk the other day, and they said Bún Chả is like a very popular breakfast street food in Vietnam. I was looking it up, and I guess it's like basically just like meat. It's like meat in some sort of a sauce, like a vinegary sauce. But yeah, I want to try that at some point. I really don't have any money. I'm down to like, I don't know, like $15 maybe total. I'm not too worried about it because I still have food in my backpack. I'm gonna go today and I'm gonna try and make some money busking. There's a good chance that Ernest is gonna make another donation in the next few days. I can't really like rely on that, you know, because like one of these days he's just gonna stop. But it's probably not yet, so I probably am gonna get another one, and that's gonna save my ass. And if I don't, then it's fine too, because I have the means of making money. I just need to put in the work. This is Hong Kong City Mall, which is kind of an ironic name because I'm pretty sure like most if not all of these places are Vietnamese, not Cantonese. But you know, maybe it was named before all the Vietnamese people moved in here. I don't know. I guess this is kind of the center of Little Saigon. So I definitely want to kind of hang around here a little bit later. Maybe I can even do some busking around here. I feel like it would be weird to busk all these like country western folk songs in a Vietnamese area, but I don't know, maybe they'd love it. I don't know. Who really knows? I was kind of under the impression that this was a library, but apparently it's a neighborhood center, whatever that means. I'm still gonna check it out because it looks cool, and there is a library around here somewhere. I know there is. Okay, it is a library. It's just also got other things as well. Some sort of like, there's like a passport office, and looks like food stamps and stuff get done here. So interesting. It's just kind of an all-in-one all in one type of place. This is actually a really, really cool community center. In addition to the library, they've got like, you know, community services on the bottom floor. And then on the same lot, they've got all this really cool park space. They've got, you know, soccer fields, they've got tennis courts over there. I'm pretty sure they've got a basketball court. This playground is one of the coolest I've ever seen. It's not like your stock same playground that everybody builds everywhere. And then I think they've also got like a calisthenics gym over there somewhere, which I definitely want to check out. It's actually raining, or it's gonna rain, so I can't really do too much outside right now. There's also a pool over there. They've got all kinds of stuff, and the design is really cool. I can see myself definitely spending a lot of time over here, if only for the power, honestly, but also for all the other stuff. I mean, it's just a really cool space. And it's right by Vietnamese town. Oh look, they've got some table tennis tables over there. They got just like a little bit of everything right here. Really, really cool. Yeah, so here's the basketball courts, and I guess they got like a smaller soccer field right here. And then there's this this street workout type of area, which I think I might try and do a few pull-ups and stuff. It's not too bad. It's a little small, but I've been looking for something like this because I want to you know, keep myself a little bit in shape. There's another park nearby that had a street workout area, or, you know, workout area, but it was just like 2 pull-up bars and like some other stuff that didn't even look useful. So this one's way better than that. And then, yeah, I believe the skate park, you see it, it's like back there. So yeah, there's a skate park. They got just a little bit of everything here. And I bet you they also hold lots of like events and things in this building. Here's one of the main things I've been eating lately, which is rice, Spanish rice with like tomatoes and stuff in it, and tuna. It's very simple, very cheap, but it tastes good and it's good for you. Alright, well, I was heading down to the Walmart that's over by the highway or whatever, and I saw this one right here. So it's like a neighborhood market, smaller type of Walmart. I just thought, you know, I've been walking for a while, I might as well stop and play a little bit. And I made $22 just sitting there for like, I don't know, 15 minutes. Didn't feel like very long anyway. But I was playing pretty good, I gotta say. So that's good. That gets me some food for tomorrow. And you know, keeps me sane for another day or two. And then a guy stopped me as I was walking out the parking lot and just gave me $5. So bring that total up to 27. It's funny, all it took for me to actually start busking consistently was for me to sit down in Houston for a few days. And I mean, obviously the fact that I'm pressed for money right now helps. It's busking is like the one thing I know I can do consistently, so it's good that it's actually paying off right now. But I feel like I've, you know, most of the times when I sit down to busk, I like, it's 50-50 whether I'm gonna make any money, but it's actually been going pretty well lately, so that's good. I need to get some of this shit on film too. I just keep it's weird to sit down in front of a store and then try and like set your phone up, you know, whatever, 5 feet away from you. It just feels a little odd. So I do need to get some of this stuff recorded, and then I was going to put that stuff up on the second channel, but yeah, we'll see. In the next few days I did various things that I didn't think went too well together in a chronological order, so instead I've just grouped them all together. So I was really excited by the idea that there was a calisthenics park nearby, because I in the past have done some calisthenics, and I really enjoy that style of training, and I've been wanting to do more like physical activity. So I started the first day by just trying to do like one good rep of everything, and as you can see, it went okay, but I've been pretty out of shape, and so I couldn't really do more than one rep to begin with. Since I couldn't do a bunch of reps, I just decided to do everything really slow and controlled to try and get as much time under tension as possible, which is, at the end of the day, what kind of makes working out work, is just time under tension. So keeping form good, I did that, and then I did a bunch of light accessory stuff just to pump out the muscles, and then I did some stretching and like mobility stuff. Just kind of the all-around philosophy of just trying to get my body moving again and work on some weak points that could cause problems in the future. Then the next few days, I decided to do some working out every 3 days. So I did another workout that I didn't film, and then I did this one where I tried to just go for max reps. And on the pull-ups, I was able to achieve 5. The form's not great. You can see I was doing a lot of kipping, but I was just trying to get as many reps as I could to set a baseline. So I did 5 reps on that one, and then on dips, I did 3 reps, and I tried to go for a 4th. There's 3, and then number 4, I just couldn't quite make it. One thing that's really struck me about Houston is just how much nature there is around. It's really swampy and wetlands sort of area, and there's just so much to see in the area. So I put together a little montage of all the wildlife and flowers and all the kind of stuff that I was seeing. Going around here and I'm going around there. Where am I going? I don't know where. But I got me a guitar and I got a cheap bag of food. Sleeping in the bushes and I hope it don't rain. Sitting on the yawn, I'm trying not to go insane. I'm living like an outlaw, but I try to obey the rules. Destiny, destiny, didn't think this is where I'd be. I'm sitting on the sidewalk and I'm strumming out of tune. Destiny, destiny, didn't think this is where I'd be. I'm living for a living and I think you could be too. I hat blew off in a gust of wind. I got a hole in my shirt that I got to mend. I can't have nothing, so I guess I got the blues. Sat on a stick when I tried to lie down. Dreamt on a rock when I got into town. I can't have nothing, so I guess I got the lose. Destiny, destiny, didn't think this is where I'd be. I'm living for a living and I think you could too. Destiny, destiny, didn't think this is where I'd be. I'm sitting on the sidewalk and I'm strumming out of tune. Here's a quick day in the life for me right now. I wake up in the morning, I walk over to this park, cross over the dam. Today I decided to stop by the pull-up bars to do some dead hangs real quick. I walk down this nice winding path next to the river. And I make my way over to Long Coffee. I sit there and drink my coffee for 30 minutes to an hour maybe, depending on how busy I am that day. And then if I am busy, I might buy a bus pass and use that to get around. But if I'm not busy, like today, then I'm going to simply walk down to the library. Before I get to the library, I'm going to stop by McDonald's for my first meal of the day. I actually found out that the library doesn't open until 1 on Fridays, so I had to hang out at the McDonald's for a little bit. Now I'm going to go inside and plug in my phone and my battery pack, get that stuff charged up, and then later I'll go down to the workout park. It's down by there. Alright, I was in there for like 3 hours, got some stuff charged. I was gonna go work out next, but I am feeling really hungry. I don't think that McDonald's is gonna cut it, so I'm gonna go across the street and get some pho. It's like a little expensive, so financially I probably shouldn't, but my only other option would be to go back to McDonald's or to go walk like 20 minutes to the nearest grocery store, and I don't really want to do that, so I'm just gonna go get some pho. It's really good, filling, you know, hearty food, and then I'll go work out. Yep, super delicious. It is pretty expensive though. I got the large. If I got the small, it would have been more like 11 or 11.50 or something like that. But yeah, super filling. What I like about pho is that it's hearty, but it's not heavy. So you don't feel like it's not like after you eat like a big burger at Wendy's or something, you just feel heavy. I feel a little bloated because it's just a lot of liquid, but other than that, like, it feels great. So I'm probably going to wait just a minute before I go work out, let stuff digest, and then it should be a good session. I'm all fueled up. All right, today I'm going to be testing my max reps on pull-ups and dips. I'm not expecting much because I'm still really out of shape, but I've been working out every 3 days consistently, so you know, feel like the muscles are activated again a little bit, but we'll see what happens. All right, so I finished out that workout. The pull-ups were about what I expected. Dips were a little less, but I also, last time I worked out, I didn't do dips. I did push-ups instead. So that one just needs to be worked on a little bit. Other than that, I feel pretty good. I'm now going to go down to the Walmart that's down this way, and then I'm going to go back to my tent along that road. I always underestimate how long of a walk that is. I got the stuff, my feet hurt, I feel dehydrated. This is a pretty hot one out here today. The sun's going down now. Not quite down yet, but within the next couple minutes here it will be. So it's pretty much the end of the day. I don't think I'm gonna go ahead and wash my stuff. I need to do that in the morning probably. But I did buy I bought a hammock and a new piece of paracord, because I've got a new idea for how I'm gonna set up my stuff once I get it all moved. It's closer to the Goodwill that I'm going to be working at, and that's going to involve a hammock, and so it'll keep me off the ground, and it'll keep the bugs away, and it'll keep the water away. And then the line, the paracord, is just for the tarp. I also got a couple of new stakes and a bunch of food, so that's all good stuff. It's bringing me down to like probably less than $50 left, which is not good. So I'm gonna have to do some more busking tomorrow probably, but a little busking never killed anybody. It's Saturday tomorrow. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Probably a good thing. So yeah, but I think today is pretty much done. That was a day in the life. I've walked past this freaking water pipe like every day for 4 days. It's still spewing. I don't really know if they're like planning on fixing that or not. I did wonder if it's clean water, but I got other ways of getting clean water. All right, well, here's the situation. I feel like I'm kind of just spinning my wheels here in Houston. I've been thinking about it for a while, and I think that you know, in order for me to get a job, so what is my goal really, right? What is my goal? Really, I just want to save up some money so that I can like buy a car or a motorcycle and then continue traveling that way. right now I'm as broke as I've ever been, which is fine. I actually don't mind living like this and just busking for the money that I need for food and stuff. Despite what some people on the comments seem to think, I'm really not money motivated. I only care about money in so much as it allows me to live and it allows me to achieve certain goals, like getting transportation. And beyond that, I don't really care. But I don't really want to be doing this forever. And looking at the jobs around here, like, so I can't really just take any like minimum paying job because first of all, I have like a bunch of outstanding debts and shit that are gonna suck up a lot of that money. And second of all, I need to be able to afford to live somewhere and pay rent, which is going to be like minimum like $600 a month, something like that. So if I just get some like, you know, basic job at like Goodwill or something, which kind of seems like my best option right now, that's unlikely to really pay for everything I need. So this kind of reminded me of one of the reasons why I wanted to do trucking in the first place, which is that it pays pretty well. And you also don't really need like a permanent address. I mean, you probably do, but I could put down my address as my mom's house or something like that, you know. I could find a way around that as long as I'm sleeping in the car and I can still have my backpack with me and sleep in, you know, the woods if I need to. That stuff doesn't really bother me. But yeah, the truck driving pays better than most jobs, so that would be nice. But my barriers to truck driving right now are that I need a driver's license that is in the state that I'm getting the CDL in, and I need my birth certificate and possibly my social security card. The birth certificate and social security card I'm not that worried about. I can get a PO box relatively cheap and I can order that stuff. It does cost money, but it's not that much money. I just need to make the money first so that I can do that. But then the driver's license situation is a lot worse because in order to get a driver's license transferred over, I need to have an address in the state, and I think you probably need to be at that address for a little bit, but I don't know specifically. I would need to do some research on that. And like I said, I need a job that pays well in order to do that, because I need to pay for rent and I need to pay a little bit extra on top of that because I'm going to have a bunch of expenses that come up as a result of that. And then if you have your own transportation, then that starts to cost money for insurance and gas money and repairs and stuff. So you need a little bit on top of that, which all kind of adds up to I need something good, you know. I can't just settle for any old job. I could do it for a while, you know, and Goodwill doesn't require you to have an address, but they also just don't pay that well. So I could save up some money doing that, but yeah, there's kind of a cap on how much I can do there. So I've been thinking maybe one of my better options is to go back to Kansas. I don't really want to go back to Kansas City because that's where my dad is, and I just don't want to. I don't want to be around him. I don't want to think about him right now. But I could go to Wichita and get my stuff sent to my mom and then go collect that from her. She doesn't live that far away from Wichita. I could probably just hitchhike in there. And then in Wichita, I could go get the CDL. You know, one of the main reasons I was in Houston to begin with is because I wanted to come to Vietnamese town, to Little Saigon, and I thought maybe that would help me learn Vietnamese and, you know, jumpstart my progress. The truth is, I do speak some Vietnamese, but I'm not that good at it yet, and I'm also just fucking antisocial. My biggest freaking barriers right now are my antisocialness and my major executive dysfunction. which if you don't know what that is, I've explained it before, but it's it's like one of the main criteria for diagnosing ADHD and some other things, where executive function is the function in the brain that governs like future planning and task prioritization and like getting started on something. Like one of the big things of executive dysfunction is having trouble starting on tasks, which I definitely have. You know, I don't know if I have ADHD, but I'm 100% sure I have executive dysfunction. So, you know, getting medicated for that I think would solve a lot of my problems, but I don't see that happening anytime soon. So anyway, yeah, I think the Vietnamese thing was always kind of a pipe dream. It's, at the end of the day, it's just a hobby. It's not like priority number one for me, and I don't think being in Houston is actually helping anyway. Still, most of my studying and speaking with people is online, through Hello Talk or italki. So, you know, I don't know. I might also just be thinking too short term right now, you know. Maybe if I stayed here for long enough, I could make some contacts, and you know, one of these days I might feel up to talking to people. But right now I just feel like I'm spinning my wheels, and I don't really know what I'm doing, and I don't feel like any of my options are very good in Houston. So I don't know. I'm still thinking about it, but I think I might end up going up to Wichita or even Kansas City. It might just be easier to do things up there. Alright, well, that's the end of this video for now. A lot has happened since then. I'm not sure how much I want to spoil, but I got a job, and then I quit that job, and I am now probably going to just head up to Kansas, like I was talking about in that last clip. So yeah, I don't know, things have been real up and down. In some ways things have been moving a lot slower than usual, but in some ways they've been moving pretty fast. I don't really know. I'm just kind of rolling with the punches right now. But anyway, I guess I need to read some donations, don't I? So I got a $300 donation from Ernest. That was April 15th, which I think was just after the last clip, something like that. But thank you so much, Ernest. You really been a lifesaver. Even with the job, I think it's this stuff has been really helpful. I actually have not gotten paid from that job yet, so it shows you how long I was there. I got $5 from Eric the Dream Giver. He said, "I love our travels. I miss you. Just seen the video." And then he gave 2 more $5 donations. Next one said, "Made it back to Austin. I'm on foot now." So go check out his channel to see what's going on with him. And then he sent another donation, said, "Thank you everybody who subscribed to my channel." Yeah, definitely go over there and give him a follow. If you like this sort of thing at all, you're gonna like what he's doing. He's on foot now, but I think he said he was planning on, he like had a bus that he was trying to get. So yeah, be interested to see what happens with that. And I got a $20 donation from Thomas. He said, "RIP Hobo Shoestring. Happy 420. That was donated on April 20th. Yeah, rip Hobo Shoestring. I guess I heard about that. I think his donation was where I heard about it. But that's real sad. I know he was having some medical issues for a while, and then he got back on the trains, and then I guess now he's gone. So absolutely, rest in peace, Hobo Shoestring. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have this channel, because that was kind of how most of my first subscribers found me. It's through the train hopping, and Hobo Shoestring was a big part of that for me. And he will be missed for sure. He was a real one, as real as it gets. So yeah, thank you, Thomas, for the donation. I believe that's it for donations. So yeah, you'll see what happened in the next video. A lot has been going on, and at the same time I feel like I am back to square one now. So I'll let you know how that all went in the next one. And thank you everybody for watching.